manager's first 30 days. A practical leadership plan. Starting your first management position can feel overwhelming. In this episode, Robbie South presents a practical 30-day leadership plan to help new managers build trust, learn their teams, establish expectations, and set the right priorities. Welcome to the South on Leadership podcast, where we turn leadership principles into practical actions you can use in the real world. I'm Robbie South. Today, we are talking about one of the most important transitions in a person's career, becoming a manager. A promotion may give you a new title, but it does not automatically prepare you for the responsibility of leading other people. Suddenly, you are expected to make decisions, communicate expectations, address performance problems, support employees, and produce results. That pressure can cause new managers to move too quickly. They may feel that they need to immediately change processes, demonstrate authority, or prove that they have every answer. Your first 30 days should have a different purpose. They should be about listening, learning, building relationships, and creating a clear foundation for the future. In this episode, I will walk you through a practical leadership plan for your first month as a manager. Let's begin with the period before your first day. If possible, meet with your manager before officially beginning your new role. Ask what results are expected from the team. Identify the 3 most important priorities. Find out which decisions you can make independently and which decisions require approval. You should also ask how your performance will be measured. These questions matter because it is difficult to lead your team effectively when you do not understand what your own manager expects from you. You should also review the team's job descriptions, active projects, performance reports, schedules, and operating procedures. This preparation will not give you every answer, but it will help you begin asking better questions. Now let's discuss days 1 through 10. Your first 10 days should focus primarily on listening, learning, and building relationships. Begin with a clear introduction to the team. Explain who you are, what you value, how you prefer to communicate, and what employees can expect from you. Avoid making promises before you understand the situation. You might say, "My first priority is to understand the team, the work, and the challenges you face. I will meet with each of you, listen carefully, and learn before making major changes." That message demonstrates confidence without pretending that you already understand everything. Next, schedule an individual conversation with every employee. Ask each person what is working well, what makes the job unnecessarily difficult, and what you should understand about their responsibilities. Ask what the team should protect and what it should improve. You should also ask employees what support they need from their manager and how they prefer to receive feedback. Listen carefully, but remember that every employee has a different perspective. A single opinion should not automatically become a conclusion. Look for repeated themes and then compare what you hear with what you observe. This brings us to another important responsibility: learning how work actually gets done. Policies explain how work is supposed to happen. Observation reveals what happens in practice. Pay attention to how decisions are made, how information is shared, and where delays occur. Notice whether employees work together, whether responsibilities are clear, and whether people feel comfortable raising concerns. Your objective is not to catch people doing something wrong. Your objective is to understand the system you have been asked to lead. During your first 10 days, also pay close attention to the commitments you make. If you promise to find an answer, provide it. If you schedule a meeting, arrive prepared. If an employee raises a concern, follow up. Trust begins with small actions. Employees will judge your leadership less by your first speech and more by whether your actions match your words. Now, let's move into days 11 through 20. During this period, begin creating clarity and consistency. Meet with the team and summarize the major themes you have heard. You might say, "During my first 2 weeks, I heard that the team is proud of its customer service and willingness to help each other. I also heard concerns about unclear priorities and last-minute schedule changes. I want us to protect what is working while improving those problem areas. Do not identify which employees raise specific concerns. Protecting confidentiality helps people trust the feedback process." Next, establish dependable communication routines. Employees should know when team meetings will occur, how important decisions will be shared, and how they should raise urgent concerns. You may want to establish a short weekly team meeting, regular individual check-ins, and written summaries of important decisions. Communication should not depend on which employee happens to be standing near your office. Consistency prevents confusion and reduces the feeling that some people receive information before others. Days 11 through 20 are also the right time to clarify roles and priorities. Every employee should be able to answer 3 questions. What am I responsible for? What are my most important priorities? And how will success be measured? When you assign work, explain the expected result, who is responsible when it is due, and what resources are available. Also explain when the employee should check in and which decisions they can make independently. Clear direction is not micromanagement. It provides the information employees need to succeed. You should also begin defining your leadership standards. Employees need to understand what behaviors you expect. These standards may include treating coworkers respectfully, communicating delays early, arriving prepared, accepting responsibility, and keeping commitments. Whatever standards you establish, apply them consistently. Few things damage trust faster than rules that change depending on the person involved. Now we arrive at days 21 through 30. During the final part of your first month, turn what you have learned into a focused plan. Start by identifying the team's 3 most important priorities. Do not create a list of 20 improvements. An overwhelming list creates activity without focus. Each priority should address a meaningful need, support an organizational goal, and include a clear result. Someone should own the priority, and it should have a realistic deadline. Next, look for one early improvement you can complete. This might involve simplifying a meeting, clarifying an approval process, removing an outdated task, improving schedule notice, or providing a missing resource. An early improvement demonstrates that listening leads to action. However, it must solve a real problem. Do not create a superficial change simply to appear busy. By the end of your first month, you should also understand each employee's responsibilities, strengths, development needs, goals, and current obstacles. This information will help you coach employees as individuals. Standards should remain consistent, but people may require different types of support. A new employee may need clear instructions and regular check-ins. An experienced employee may need greater independence and a challenging goal. Good leadership recognizes those differences. Before your first month ends, ask the team for feedback. Ask what has been helpful, what you should communicate more clearly, and whether there is anything you have misunderstood. Listening to feedback does not mean agreeing with every comment. It means remaining open enough to consider whether the information can help you improve. Finally, meet with your manager. Discuss what you have learned, the team's strengths, immediate risks, employee development needs, and your 3 main priorities. Explain what resources or support you need and present your goals for days 31 through 90. Before we close, let's examine 5 mistakes new managers should avoid. The first mistake is changing too much too quickly. Major changes made without enough understanding can damage effective processes and create resistance. The second mistake is trying to become everyone's friend. You can be kind, supportive, and approachable, but your responsibility is to lead fairly. You will sometimes need to make decisions that not everyone likes. The third mistake is using authority to prove you are in charge. A title may create compliance. It does not automatically create trust. The fourth mistake is avoiding difficult conversations. Problems rarely disappear because a manager ignores them. Address concerns early, privately, respectfully, and directly. The fifth mistake is pretending to have every answer. It is acceptable to say, "I do not know the answer yet, but I will find out and follow up with you." Honesty builds more credibility than false confidences, long as you keep your promise to follow up. Here is your leadership challenge for this week. If you are preparing for a management role or have recently entered one, schedule individual conversations with every member of your team. Ask 3 questions. What is working well? What makes your job more difficult than it needs to be? And what support do you need from me? Listen without interrupting, defending, or immediately proposing solutions. Then look for the themes that appear across several conversations. Your first 30 days will not define your entire leadership career, but they can establish important patterns. Begin by listening. Learn how the team operates. Build relationships. Clarify expectations. Keep your commitments. Then use what you have learned to establish a focused direction. You do not have to prove that you have every answer. You need to demonstrate that you are willing to listen, learn, make responsible decisions, and help your employees succeed. That is how authority begins to become leadership. If you are unsure which leadership skill you should focus on first, visit South on Leadership and complete the free leadership assessment. You can also find practical courses, books, and leadership development resources at South on Leadership. I'm Robbie South, and thank you for listening to the South on Leadership podcast. Until next time, lead with purpose, serve your people, and set the standard through your actions.